Hi guys, John Moore with you again, and this time just a quick update, an update on the JGSDF Type 89 infantry fighting vehicle from Trumpeter in 135 scale. And let's see, this is the third update, so let's have a look and see how far I've actually got so far. So far, Susie. Alright, let's start where I am in the instructions. I'm up as far as step 19, which is adding all the little bits and pieces onto the turret. On the last update, if memory serves me correct, we were at this stage here. I had the base of the turret made, just the bare shell of the turret made. I had to attach these two pieces together, the top to the bottom, and stick on the last little few bits and pieces that couldn't be done until the top was on. So I wanted to get that done and get the base painted basically. So I have that done, I have them on, and I have the base coat done on the hull. That's the green for the hull, where like I showed you earlier, I had all the undercarriage done, the underside of it. There she is there. The top is all done now with base coats. Lights are done in there, so what I'll do is I'll mask off those areas so they won't get any more darker than they are. I have the windows in, they're masked off and painted over, so I just have to remove the bit of Tamiya tape, as you can see there, and the top is all masked off purely because the fit was so tight and I don't want to be adding more paint to it, so I just masked it off. I did watch another video of this. There's one up, another person did one of these, Dan Knispel. Hope I pronounced his name right. I put a link below in the description box to Dan's one. And what Dan did, he added lights, electronic, and put lights into it. And he did an absolutely fabulous job. And he used the Edward P set and a few other bits and pieces. Because a lot of the things were very, very thick and stuff, and sort of not to scale and things. Like for instance this, the holder there for the jerry can. His jerry can sits in the back of that. That was very thick. It was actually thicker than what that is there. What I did was I made it, and I just went to town in the sander and made it thin enough. So now it's shall we say, a bit more to scale. So that got painted yesterday anyway, and that is all the base done. Continue on work now on the turret. On the turret we have this piece here, which is the same material as the tracks are made out of, and which is grand because it gives a nice sort of the gun. There's movement in the gun, if you know what I mean, and it's not glued down solid piece of plastic and stuck in the one position. That glue down grand, no problems. Very fiddly here with the hinges and things for the hatches covers. The holes are for where the locate for these here. They're too big. They're very big, so there's a lot of wobble, a lot of movement in it. I am having them open because I'm having the two figures, so I glued it in the open position rather than having it workable. It was just the easiest thing to do. As you can see, there's plenty of goo filler, sprue filler here on the back. This back piece was a bloody, excuse my, I won't. It was a nightmare. It really, really was hard to put on. It just didn't want to go. And it was perfectly cleaned off because I used the goggles and everything else, and there was no extra bits, there was nothing extra. It just kept popping out of sinking things, but I got it on anyway for a finish. The aerial mounts, they were a little bit longer, where you'd glue on, say, a bit of stretch sprue onto the top. I cut off the springish part of it. It was only Mickey Mouse sort of thing, and drilled it out for the springs. I did another bit of drilling here with the smoke launchers. I'll show you now in a sec, the smoke launchers, because I've the other side. I'm in the process of doing the other side. There's we've all the parts for here. Hang on a second. What I'll do is I'll reset up the camera and we'll have a look at this, because this is actually quite interesting. I found it interesting anyway, so just bear with me. Now I'm using the blue background. I watched Switcher's video there recently on backgrounds, and the blue background, it was actually fabulous, and it works. It really does. So kudos there to the old Switcher. Right, we've got the rocket launchers. There's 8 parts in total. There's 2 parts. This that's glued together, right? That's the holder. Into the holder, then you've got I have some of them already drilled out. Right, this is the base piece that goes onto the bottom of that and attaches it to the turret itself. Right, here we are. Here's one of the smoke launchers, already cleaned up, drilled out, and everything else. This is the way they come. Now they come with you can paint it up, like you can just clean it off and paint it up with that, because it's got the it does have the cap on it. Now they do have the cap on them. Sometimes it was a case of a personal choice that I wanted to have the cap on and paint it just black over, like it's got the rubber caps on them that they have. And the reason they're rubber is that they can actually fire through them. This is how they come. So there's a big chunk of a clean up there. You have a seam line the whole way around and everything else. So I just looked at them and said they were ugly. Started to clean them up, and when I started cleaning them up and things like that, you know, they came out grand. The seam line came off quite easily and everything else. And then I said, I'll drill them out. So I drilled them out. I started off with a 0.7 drill bit, made a pilot hole with a 0.7, and drilled it out then with a 1. I think it's a 1 or it's a 1 point something. I'm not sure exactly, but I just got it, thing of that, and got it to where it's a realistic thickness on the walls of the launchers themselves. So I'm quite chuffed with how they came out. It looks quite nice. It might not be correct. They probably always had the covers on, but the cover picture for the model itself, the box art, doesn't have them on. So like I said, there's one more of them just to be done. All together in a little plastic tub. So let's zoom back out again. Oh, so that's basically where I am at it. Still plenty to do. Like I said, I'm taking my time and I'm actually enjoying it. A lot of it is down to these things, the fact that I can really see up close, right up, and get perfect fits and things, and go to the bother of doing all that. Like if I tried to do that with my ordinary glasses, the holes wouldn't be so centre. Using those things, it really did help, and they're just nice. They really are. I'm quite chuffed with that, rather than say that the blank tops. I think it looks much nicer. Another thing that Dan sort of noticed as well, and I thought it was a bit strange as well, on the jerry can that it gives you for the back of it, it gives you, say, the 2 sides and the handle. It doesn't give you the spout. Now, Dan used one of the PE covers for the smoke launchers as his lid. I just use a bit of sprue round and kind of shaped it up a bit, to drill a little hole type thing, just to give it a little bit of definition. So I think that came out quite grand. That's the jerry can that goes onto the back. I also did one of the figures. I think I've already shown this. Not 100% sure. Oh, I did. I've already shown him. There's one of the figures. He just has to get the extra little bits and pieces on the back of him. He was the first thing I actually made before I even started the thing. It was just to help me kind of get into it. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to use them. I might do a little vignette with them. Because there's only 4 figures in total. There's 2 standing. There's another guy with an 84 anti-tank 84mm recoilless rifle. I know that because I've used one myself. Then you got the loader and the gunner and the commander figure. So might do a little vignette. You never know. Just something basic. So far, as I said, it's not the best of fitting kits, but it's not the worst either. I have had worse. There's lots of little clean-ups to be done on it. Every single piece has to be cleaned. There's horrible seam lines on handles. Everything, literally everything, has got a little seam line on it. And like I said, a lot of the locator holes are actually just that little bit too big. I haven't actually had to drill any of them out yet because they're too small, but they are all too big. Bit of sanding to do on that. I just want to get all the bits and pieces on it first, and then give it a little bit of a sanding before I prime and base coat. But it's going to be nice. Actually, it's a nice looking vehicle, shall we say? And I've done a nice bit of looking at clips and things of it on YouTube. There's enough there. There's plenty there to see on it, because it's quite modern and it's actually still in use. It's had a couple of upgrades. So that's me update. Catch you on the next one, lads. Next one, the turret should be finished, and everything else. We'll have a look at it on the bum, shall we say, and we'll do an update then after that. So catch you up then, lads. I'll see you Monday, and in the meantime, have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourselves. If you get a bit of time, do a bit of building for yourselves. A little bit of personal enjoyment, shall we say. So we'll leave it at that, lads. I'll catch you up in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more of the same. John, signing off.